Welcome back to the Better by Next Week podcast, where this week Ollie and I bring all your questions to the podcast, and the episode is called Fly on the Wall. You guys are the flies on the wall, and we're going to discuss all the things that you've wanted to know about what we've been doing, just a few off-topic things. And this episode came about because I was going for a run and I thought, how can I throw Ollie under the bus with a Better by Next Week challenge? And this is what happened. I asked our listeners to come up with a heap of questions, and for every question, Ollie had to do 10 burpees. So in the end, we ended up with about 50 responses. It was a few more, but we kind of capped it at the 50. So Ollie's going to have to do 500 burpees, but we'll discuss that later on. But how does it feel to know that our audience loved you so much that they wanted to ask all these questions?
Yeah, I wasn't actually sure whether or not to feel happy or sad, because I'm like, no, I was just watching the number go up and up and up, and I was at school at the time, so I was completely clueless of what you were doing. But no, that was a really good engagement post. I feel like we were running low on the questions for a little bit because I've been slacking off with my posts a little bit. But yeah, Dad did a great post, and yeah, unfortunately now I had to do 500 burpees, which I don't train my upper body. I'm a runner, I train my legs, and yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we haven't decided yet whether it's all in one hit. Because Ryan Davies...
No, I think I'll do it in one hit.
It's got to be done in one hit.
Yeah, I think
so. Ryan Davies said that he'll do them all in one hit as well. And he's a guy that's trying to break the burpee broad jump world record.
For a marathon, isn't it?
No, burpee broad jump. 1 mile.
1 mile?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was doing for a marathon. I was like, oh.
Oh, man, if he was doing it for a marathon, he'd be there
for a long time. I know. I saw a video the other day about it. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Because I feel like, gosh.
Just make sure you keep your top on when you're standing next to him. Because he's ripped.
I know. I think about doing like a burpee broad jump, and I think for like a 42K, I think, well, that shouldn't take too long. But actually, it's a while. Like, what was it? Ethan's
got from Hardcore Harry's has actually got a world record. Oh, no, I think it was a world record. He was going to do a marathon. He got called out for doing a marathon lunge.
The lunges, yeah. Even the lunges, I saw him doing 2 kilometers. I'm like, that took a while for him to do that. Like, what, over half an hour?
I feel like him 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. I just think, how is it that slow? Yeah. I'm not pooping on his parade or anything like that, but man, it's going to take a while.
Yeah, and you can imagine what a burpee broad jump's going to do. But anyway, you're just doing, all you have to do is only 500 burpees.
I've done 100 a couple of times before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think that's one of the questions that we got asked. The most I've done in one hit is 300.
Yeah.
And that was back in the day when I was doing obstacle racing, and we did it in Fed Square, and Spartan Race held a special event where you had to do 300 burpees, and if you did the 300, you got this epic Iron Edge, a pack of not dumbbells. I think it was kettlebells and all this other equipment. And I thought, oh, this will be easy. And it was 35 degrees that day, full sun in Fed Square, and I didn't even bring a towel or anything to do it and we'll do it on the concrete. And everyone was burning the backs of their throats because they were coming down and they were doing the burpee, but they were breathing in, and the concrete was that hot you were burning the back of your throat.
Yeah, was that like under a timed condition?
Yes. Yeah. So you had to go as fast as the fastest person was doing them. And yeah.
So why didn't you guys just all go slow?
Oh, because some people were just hybrid athletes. I was a runner back then.
But 300 in what? That amount of time?
They did it in like 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's
crazy. I don't know whether your 500 is going to be that quick, but we'll find out.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. How about we get into these fly on the wall questions?
Yeah. Okay.
So we got a heap of questions, obviously for the burpees that you're going to be doing, but we kind of broke them down. So some of them were obviously more in depth, so we had to we'll have a bit of a conversation about them. But then we got some quick fire ones, or what did you want to call it?
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. You wanted to call them rapid fire. I'll call them quick fire.
I just feel like it comes off the tongue pretty well.
Yeah, it does. But these are all mixed around. And you know what? These are really good. I reckon our audience is going to get a lot out of it. And these are the kind of questions that often people are a little bit scared to ask because they may seem a little sillier. Not to them anyway, not to us. And no question's silly to us. But they are questions that often beginner runners have, even advanced runners have some of these problems that people want us to talk about today.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like teachers will always ask at school, like ask the question because there'll be someone else in the room who's just nervous to actually
You're
ask it.
guaranteed.
And the good thing about it as well with Instagram is that no one actually knows what question you're asking.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
yeah, send them through.
So send it in any question. And these, I threw in a few questions that we've had in
Before.
recent times as well. So, all
All
right.
right, we'll get to it because I
We'll
feel
get to
we've
the
been,
questions,
we've been
yeah.
babbling on a little bit.
What and where was your first backyard ultra? Oh,
We have a very same one. MVP.
we were both at MVP.
That is in our heart. MVP is amazing, and we were there a couple of weeks ago. That was a great experience.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a cool podcast.
Yeah.
Like, we were very fortunate with that, and yeah, like Dad said, my challenge was to keep pushing because I pushed for that.
Yeah.
But-
how many loops did you do on your first one?
I think I timed out. I did 6 times out. Timed out on 7.
Yeah.
But I got to the 42K unofficial.
Yes. That was tough, wasn't it? You had
I didn't
big
know.
hopes and dreams too, didn't you?
know,
I remember that.
I'm like,
We set up.
24 hours.
Oh yeah, 2015 or 24.
We set up like Dad, and then Dad had to pack down this whole home after 6 hours. I felt so bad, but no, I look back on that experience and go, yeah, obviously I would have felt like that. Actually, the reason why I pulled out was because my hips were sore.
Yeah.
That's just a given in a backyard ultra, and I look back now, I'm like, golly, like if you only knew how much pain you would have to go through further on.
Yeah, but the thing was that it's a different pain that you've gone on to complete. So I think in the early stages you had such a young body. How old were you? You were 11.
Was I? I felt no. You were. That is over exaggerating it. No, not even. I was like 14.
Where?
Yeah, 13, 14.
Oh.
I think I was 13, turning 14.
Ah, okay. So you were 13 and,
Yeah.
and you ran a marathon. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing big. Yeah. Well, my first one was there too, and I did 34 loops first up. Had no idea what I was in for. I'd done a lot of point to point stuff, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that the format was pretty cool. I wanted to quit at about 22, 23 hours. I was getting some blisters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've told this story where I've come in and I've looked at your mum and I'm saying to her, I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore.
I've got a couple blisters on my feet.
Yeah, because I was a little bit of a pussy back then. So
Not to say that you're a pussy because you've got blisters, people, but
I was. There was no reason why I couldn't fix them. And I did. And she sent me back out.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing another 10 loops.
but what got you in the end? Was it the blisters?
I think so. I think what got me in the end is I just didn't want to do it anymore.
I
with
completely
the pain.
understand that.
It was like, I actually, you know what I think actually happened was I was coming up that last hill and the final, so I had a couple of blisters pop and then the final blister kind of went on me as I was finishing that loop and I just felt it explode in my foot and on my foot, in my shoe. And I'm like, oh, no, this is not good. And I thought I didn't have enough time. And obviously you're 34 hours in, you couldn't be bothered. But yeah, Benny Nichols and Matt Doob went on to win that one, and that record still stands at like 41. So
Yeah, how did you feel the next morning?
I felt like absolute crap the next morning. That was the worst feeling. There is no worse a feeling than that backyard ultra regret. And Ben Nichols talks about it like there's 3 things in life. There's death, taxes, and backyard ultra regret. And he is 100% right. Backyard ultra regret is a real thing. You wake up the next day and you see that everyone's still running and you think to yourself, I just want to be out there. I just want to, but you don't realize that the feeling that made you quit, that you didn't want to keep going, that's subsided. And it's so hard to reconcile the fact that you're saying to yourself, I still want to be there, but you got to remember that in the moment that you quit, it was hard. They were real feelings, but that was a really cool first backyard ultra.
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
cool. It's cool how far along you can come as well. Like even within training, like you think, like now it's not even I don't even have to look at the David Goggins video to get up in the morning. It's just I get up. Like I actually think about it, and what is the hard thing about having to get out the door now?
Yeah, it's
just kind of natural, isn't it?
I think that's just discipline now.
I think I'm just scared of my workout. That's all I'm scared of.
Yeah. Oh, because you procrastinate and stuff like that. So
Cool. I'll get into the next one. So, what's the biggest month of kilometers you have both ever done? I honestly could not recall a big month that I've done, but
you would have done 400.
No.
You don't reckon you
I've
would have
done-
gone 100, 100, 100, 100?
I would have done over that. I've done like
Sorry. Sorry for
I've-
misquoting
think-
your big month.
I think January, like this year, I did ramp up a little bit of training, and I did at least 550.
Yeah.
I think
That's a big month.
because I got a couple 130K weeks in there.
Yeah.
But I think it was at least 550, maybe pushing 600.
Yeah. What's the biggest lesson that you got out of that?
Yeah. It's kind of a negative lesson, I feel.
Oh.
I'm quite
No,
sad.
there's no.
But no,
just
I'm-
like there's no bad
I just-
question, there's no negative lesson.
I just hate it because, yeah, for those out there who don't know me very well, I like to trial and error a lot of things. And I feel like I get to a point where I'm like, yes, this is it, this is it, this is it, for 2 weeks. And then bang, I get crashed and I'm bloody burnt out and everything just goes down the drain. And right now that's happening. And it's been, it was a struggle to get out on my run on Friday.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, let's just take the weekend off. And now I'm just going to cut back a little bit. So yeah, I'm trying a different thing, but I just feel very sad that I can't just keep consistent because I feel like that's the number one thing that's just known for you to do to get better. And I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, but you are being consistent. Like if you have a look at different people's training methodologies, some people build, and then they have a deload week. They build, then they have a deload. But you need to believe that yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where I think, like, I just let you go because I know that I say to you, no, don't do too much. Don't do too much. And you're like, no, I've got this. And then you come to me and he's like, I'm like, oh, when was the last time you ran? And you're like, oh, I'm having the weekend off. And I'm like, great. Because you need to experience that. I think everyone needs to experience that because we've mentioned it so many times on the podcast. We're all on our own journey to discover what we can do, what our limits are and things like that. And I can't tell you that you're going to get burnt out. You need to almost burn yourself out a little bit to go, oh, I've got to pull this back a little bit. And the one thing you can't do is be looking at everyone else too much.
Yeah, that's the hard thing, trying to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. That's the stage I'm in right now. But for parents who have kids who are very ambitious with running, like what Dad is doing, like you obviously want to hold them back to a point where they obviously can't like break themselves. I've been doing this for quite a while, so I know the points. Like on Friday, I went, nah, let's just hold back here. Let's just not push it for a little bit. I know I'm going to drill myself into the ground if I keep doing this because it was just too much. But letting your child go for a little bit and just letting them experience that little step in that area, in that cave, and then go, oh, let's just bring them back. Because it's important for someone to be able to experience something to learn from it.
Yeah.
Whereas, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Whereas what Dad was like, he's like, if I don't ever experience something, then what's the word? Trying to look. No, you go on what you were saying.
No. I think what you're trying to say is
because
that,
it's like if you don't let me experience
you gotta
something,
walk
it's
your own
like, I'm going
path.
to be asking questions like, oh, what is it? What is it? Like, what's this? What's that? Like,
yeah.
And that's not what you want. You kind of want that person to be able to see that.
Well, you want them to feel it.
Yeah, and be driven towards it.
Yeah. So
not driven towards it by, ooh, what's this? Should I enter this area?
Yeah, I don't want you to. Yeah, of course, I don't want you to break yourself. But also, I think that's great advice. But also, there's a lot of parents out there that don't have experience in what I do as well. So where they may be a little bit scared is where they're a little bit lost and don't understand what direction they should send their child either. So it's important to get a coach. There's so many, if they go to some like a track or little aths or things like that, there's coaches there. I know one of my bosses at work, his son is a remarkable 5K runner and 1,500 meter runner as well. And he was a good runner too, Dan, the guy I'm talking about. But he would send his son and they would do track and they would train and all that kind of stuff. And his coach would hold him back and say, no, you can't do that.
What would he hold him back to?
Well, he would say you can't do, like Daniel's son would be like, I want to do 70, 80, 90 Ks. And the coach would be like, no, you're not doing that. you're doing this. So it's important to have someone there as a reference to, like, I mean, obviously he would let him go at times and say, hey, look, you experienced it. Now are we going to do it my way? Because how many times have we gone and done it your way or the way that you've discovered, and then I've kind of just stripped it back and go, mate, the discipline and consistency is simple. It's the simple things. So if you're, and you've seen those graphs on Instagram where, you know, it goes up and down, up and down. You've got, this isn't consistency isn't up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. Consistency is little stepping stones every single day. And I think that that's important. And I think that in regards to going back to what our biggest months are, like, you just got to be consistent or else you will burn out. My biggest month has been, you know, the Hardcore Harry's months that I've done. So, you know, you're looking at far out and that's without an event, obviously, but you're looking at 800 Ks in a month. So that's a hell of a lot of kilometers plus, but that happens over time. So like I said, you can't just look at one person, what they're doing and mimic it, but you have experience over a lifetime of running and you've been consistent. You've built that aerobic base. You've built the body that can handle it. And that's how you do big months.
Yeah, to add on that a little bit as well is that the younger people will look at those trained athletes like you've been doing it for 15 years and won't understand that by them running those huge kilometers, that's why. It's because they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Whereas these young kids who want to do 150K weeks, it's just not going to work.
Yeah. But they'll break themselves a couple of times. And
but that's what I mean. Quick. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like letting those young people like experience that.
Yeah, but you also don't want to let them experience it too much because then
it's such a fine thing, isn't it? Because if you let them experience it too much, then it goes, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to run anymore because I feel like this. So really tread carefully.
It's a balance. It's a real big balance. So you got
that's the one thing we come back to, is it? It's all a balance.
Yeah, it's a balance. All right, let's get on to our next question. So we've been asked about foot care a few times, but we'll go into it a little bit more again. But
people are interested.
So yeah, people want to know. Obviously, blisters. Like I said, my first backyard ultra, I went out with blisters. But do you pre-wrap your toes before a backyard ultra, or just regular sock changes, or other things? What do you do?
We've done the full spectrum here, haven't we?
Yeah.
So
yeah. We've gone. I've done a bit of everything. So for a long backyard ultra, I'll tape every single toe, and then I'll use toe socks, and then that's usually pretty good. I managed to get through 60 hours at Bigs on one pair of socks and one toe taping. But if things start to go wrong and you start having to take off your socks, then that toe tape can come off. It can be a little bit difficult.
And that's the issue here.
And that's the issue that you can have. So I have tested out at King of the Hill, I tested out taping all my toes. And then when I obviously the weather really turned and I had to change my socks off and then things started to come off, I ended up just using like Gooch Goo or that kind of Vaseline kind of lubricant stuff and took the tape off and then just vassed up my and used Gooch Goo on my feet and then put the toe socks back on and I didn't get any blisters. It was actually okay. But when something did pop up, I would tape that one. So if you're not going to tape them, just be really vigilant that if something's going on in the shoe, that you speak to your crew and say, hey, look, I think there's something going on. We might have to address that. But aside from that, I think just the Gooch Goo and toe socks are pretty good.
Yeah, you covered that pretty well.
Yeah.
The only thing I do have to add is that if you do have a toe issue halfway through the race, never hold it off. Yeah. Never, ever, ever hold off a toe sock issue or a toe issue because one thing will lead to the next and then race over like Dad's MVP first time.
Yeah, 100%.
Next one. We got, what's the best way to get over I'm not good enough feeling when running? Yeah, I've had a couple of moments like this. Yeah, the maybe, especially recently because I have been struggling. I've just been pushing through it and I feel good, but I don't feel good at the same time. It's just this muscular fatigue. Like it's always heavy and I just feel like I can't get out there. And there was this one rep that I was doing for 400 meter repeats and I just got to the end of it, and instead of doing my float in between, I just stopped and I just had a moment. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, am I actually going to be good one day? And I just thought to myself, like, it's the best feeling thinking this is the moment that everyone quits, regardless. And it's quite funny because I said that to myself 2 years ago, and I'm still going now, and I say that to myself now. So is it actually that moment where everyone quits, or is that just something that you say to yourself that makes you feel better? But I think on the levels that you're at, that's where everybody quits who are on the same level. Is that ultimately that hard feeling that goes, I don't want to do this anymore. And reminding yourself that this is where everyone quits, and just by you reminding yourself that you're just, I think you're telling yourself that you actually are capable. But just thinking that you are actually capable because you have the ability to foresee yourself and in the future if you just keep getting at it. And being able to understand that this is where everyone's quitting, and that in itself is really powerful.
Yeah, that's almost like the drive that you need. You need to tell yourself, hey, look, this is where everyone quits. So when at the moment where you say to yourself, oh, I'm not good enough for this, and that's like, well, guess what? You're standing at a point in time where there are thousands of people saying the exact same thing to themselves. That I'm not good enough at this. Why continue? Why keep going? And that's the moment. That is the moment, which is great because that's your little signpost to say, this is the moment I don't quit. Because from this moment forward, I look back at the guy that said, oh, I'm not good enough. And then now I've become the guy that says to himself, I am good enough. So I think
and what does that say after doing it many times as well?
Oh, it retrains your brain. It retrains the neural pathways in your brain to say to yourself, every time I come up against an obstacle, I say to myself, no, I am good enough. I was good enough last time. I already said this to myself. I said, I'm not good enough. And then you say to yourself, oh, hang on. I keep saying it to myself. And then what ends up happening is you actually drop that belief that you're not good enough. And then you say to yourself, I am enough.
Yeah, and is that your aha moment? I think that's your aha moment.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. But, I mean, there's so many doubts. How many times? Like, I reckon there'll be 100 times during a run where I say to myself, I can't be bothered doing this. This is starting to hurt. How come this hurts more than last time? The bricks just keep stacking up against you, and you're building this wall that you just can't get past until you finally say to yourself, guess what? This is a choice. I'm making these choices. I'm choosing to do this thing. No one's telling me I have to go out here. I'm choosing to do this. So I'm choosing to try and win this event, or I'm choosing to run a 5K PB, or I'm choosing to lose a little bit of weight. So they're all a choice. When you turn around and say to yourself, this was a choice. This is not a belief thing or I'm not good enough thing. This is I just want an out. When I say to myself, I'm not good enough, I'm just giving myself a really easy excuse to stop doing what I'm doing.
But you know what? If this I'm not good enough doesn't happen mid-run and it happens at the end of the run, you've had a really crap run and you're down on yourself, I really like the analogy of that's just another brick in the wall.
Yeah.
It might not be as big as what other bricks are, but it's a slither of a brick and it's higher than what it was.
Yeah, it might just be a little bit of mortar before you put a brick down.
There you are.
So
keep building those bricks, people, because we're all amazing. And
yeah, I agree. We are all amazing, and like everyone, like you're always good enough. Remembering that even if you start something, then you're better than what you were before you started. So
yeah, what is it like? Just by believing it, you're already 50% of the way or 99%
yeah,
of the way.
100%. All right, I'll get the next question. And this one's kind of related to me. I have a lot of these issues, but are you still struggling with plantar fascia problems?
Yeah, so that's definitely not me.
That's not you. You don't have that issue.
Yeah.
It's an old man issue. And yeah, the answer to that question is yes. So many of our listeners might know that I actually completely tore my plantar in my right foot, and I don't have any issues in that foot, but I do have issues in the other foot. to fix any of those problems, I've tried to. Obviously, the Hardcore Harry's challenge is a little bit difficult to do strength work because I'm running so many Ks. But I massage it. I try and eat foods that are anti-inflammatory, and I try in the morning it's tough when I first get up, but these UFA slides, I still rave about them. I straight into them, and
Good promo.
and yeah, I think they're really good because they just help it keep it at bay. But I think people also need to understand that when you're doing a lot of Ks, there's going to be adaptations to certain things that you're having, like niggles and stuff like that. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you run through niggles and just say they're adaptations, and then next minute you're injured. But I do think that it's physical. You're going to have a little bit of an overuse thing here or there, and your mind tends to pick at things, and you'll feel great, and then you'll find something to complain about. And it may be the smallest thing ever. That's why phantom pains before events are such a big thing, because you start saying to yourself, oh, I'm tightening up here, or this is wrong, or that's wrong. So nothing's wrong. It's just that you're trying to find things to derail your performance. But in regards to the plantar stuff, I think that getting an MRI, if it's that serious, get an MRI, have it looked at. Get it treated by a sports doc, see what they've got to say, because you shouldn't be running. I don't think that you should be running in pain, constant pain. So if it's giving you constant pain, then it's a real problem. Now, I wake up in the morning, I'm in my 40s, so there's going to be things that are probably not as brand new as what they are with you. And my plantar in my left foot is one of those things. So yeah, it's sore. It feels like I walk on glass, or I'm a little bit, because that inflammation is pulled in that area. But aside from getting it treated, I don't know what other advice I can give, because the advice that I had with my right one was to completely tear it and to fix it, which I did, but that's not advice that I would give to anyone.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of input on this. So instead of maybe focusing on when you actually do have plantar issues, I know this person might have plantar issues, but for people who are really worried about plantar issues, actually just not letting it get to that point.
Yeah.
Right? So I know that David Roche has had some plantar issues recently, and he's let it get to that point, but letting yourself actually recover. And he talked about it a lot, where he felt like he was just chasing Father Time with all his races, and he actually just pulled it back after Javelina 100 and just went, I'm going to recover properly. And he actually hasn't been running on it very often, and it's been a very long time. Looking at his Strava, I'm like, what? Jesus, it's been a while since he's had this little issue. But on the bike a lot as well, not putting too much force through it. But yeah, like Dad said, the UFA slides are amazing. I have not put on another pair of slides and felt better.
Yeah, and these guys aren't even our sponsors. Or
no,
anything.
I know, but they're really good. But yeah, so try not let it actually get to that point.
Yeah, prevention is the best medicine.
And what is the prevention and medicine in this case to prevent plantar fasciitis?
Oh, okay, so if you're not in a running challenge, like you said, rest, not complete rest, but I would do strength work, go to a physio, do the strength work, try and use things like the UFA slides just to kind of manage the pain.
Even if it's a small little placenta, it's a placenta more.
But I think the strength work, and what I found really, really helped me before it kind of started to flare up again, was the strength work. The problem with the strength work is that it can hurt a little bit, but once you get the calves and everything around your lower leg strong, then it takes the pressure off that plantar.
Yeah, it's almost just like a case of the DOMs. Like you just got to build up your legs for DOMs not to occur.
Yeah, 100%. All right.
Do I have the next one?
Oh, you grab the next one.
Okay. What's the best run walk strategy you've used at a backyard ultra, and does Phil Gore use one?
Well,
Dad,
okay, so
let us in on the secret.
All right, so I do. Well, it's not really a secret.
Well, it's cool.
Mine's not really a secret, but what I'm going to follow up with, mine's not really a secret. Mine's pretty basic.
Yours is just chat your head off.
Yeah.
That's his strategy.
Yeah, I walk when I chat, yeah. So I've got to be careful or else I'm walking the whole bloody time. So my run walk strategy, it's pretty simple. So I'll take an 8-minute run, 2-minute walk, and then I'll go 3-2, 3-2, 3-2 until I finish.
But the 3-2, the 3 is you're running and 2 is you're walking.
That's right. And that normally gets me in around 48 to 50 minutes. Yeah. And I'll try and stick to that unless I'm doing something that's hilly or there's a part of the course that needs to just be walked. So that's as simple as my run walk strategy is. But I did last year at Sat Champs, I trialed something different. I just let the universe tell me when I was going to walk. So I trusted my body and said, run it for as long as you like. And when I felt like walking, I would walk. So you got to be super accountable then, though.
That's such a challenging thing, isn't it? When you're 82 hours in, it's like, I'm just going to walk the whole thing.
Yeah, but if you're disciplined,
There's a level to it.
That's right. But in regards to Phil Gore, we reached out to him and he was very kind and he let us know what his was. So how about you?
Yeah, I'll read out his response. So for a backyard ultra, I just walk when I feel like it. This might be dictated by course, so hills, technical sections, weather conditions. When there's really hot weather, he might walk in the shade, or who I'm talking with. So if you're talking with someone, you might run to their pace. So it's a very chilled out vibe I'm getting from that. I have a relatively consistent running pace, but then I'll walk more or less depending on how quick I want to finish the lap. So e.g., a quick lap might have 1 or 2 short walking breaks. A slow lap will have a lot more. Yeah. So that's the number one thing in a backyard ultra that people can't wrap their heads around is that you don't have to run slower to run slower laps. You walk more.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Phil really good because he sticks to that consistent pace and he's never nervous because he slows himself down with walks, not with how he's running. Because often you can get into a bit of a death spiral and start running slower and slower. And then you find yourself saying to yourself, I can't walk this next bit. I need to catch up. So
well, not even that. I can't run.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing that everybody always says. I can't run. My legs can't move.
Yeah.
And it's not that.
Yeah.
It's your legs might be
Phil's
sore.
got the conditioning to be able to do whatever the hell he likes.
I know.
He's amazing. But he also did have to add for a 24-hour run. It's very specific. So he'll run 28 minutes and walk 2, and that's all he'll do for a 24-hour race where. He's
a little bit more higher intensity, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But that's how he gets through. And very big thanks to Phil for getting back to us. He got back to us super quick too. So just before we recorded this podcast, which was really, really nice of him.
That was cool. What do we have on the next one? You got it?
Yeah. Do you guys ever lose your drive to run? Maybe a few weeks before bouncing back.
And this was similar to the last question we had before, Phil's about. Oh, was it before? One of the questions we had when. It was, am I good enough?
Yeah, I don't know. It's similar.
Well, for me, when I was using my example.
I think when you were talking about your example about taking time off and burning out and that kind of stuff. Yeah, 100%. You can lose your drive to run. I used to do it. I used to lose my drive to run a lot earlier on in my career, whereas nowadays I tend to just I enjoy it so much. I enjoy what running gives me. It gives me routine. It gives me discipline. It gives me health. It gives me an ability to eat healthy and feel good and make good decisions. So it gives me mental clarity. It gives me so much joy that I never feel like I don't want to run in some capacity. So I've always battled with the idea of not running and what that looks like. And I'm not really one of those guys that will go for a run here and there when I feel like it, because that just does not work for me. I need the routine. I need to be able to set a goal and say to myself, I'm going to work towards that. Whether that be I want to improve my 5K time, or I want to run real far at a backyard ultra, or I want to challenge myself in an event or something that I've never done before. So I really need that structure. And running is part of that because it's so therapeutic as well. When I go for a run, I'll often think about life, how things are going, any of the problems that I have. So there's so many aspects to the running that are really important. And I get it, the pain can suck. And that's why I think when people get injured, it hurts so much because they lose that outlet.
Yeah, we'll talk about as well sometimes, Dan and I, in private conversations. Right before an event, you might have a really like an awful run, and that's almost like something that's like is needed, is required. I remember a couple of times this happened to me, and Dad's had to pick me up on a couple of runs, and I'm like, why is this happening? I'm tapering, I'm deloading everything. I should be feeling good, and I'm having this crap run. And you're like, nah, that just happens. You need that right before an event because that's just an indicator that you're gonna have a good event. I don't know how, don't know why, just is.
Yeah, you'll often see on my Strava title 2 or 3 weeks out from an event, it'll say the crap run I had to have because I don't know, you just got to get it out of your system.
Yeah.
I think. But in terms of losing my drive to run, I don't think so. And this is when this question came up, this is what I actually thought. If you can surround yourself with people that can continually motivate you or are continually doing the similar things, you'll find that when you do have that want to stop or that lack of motivation to keep going, they'll get you going. Often I'll turn up at work. I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'll turn up to work and I'll say to myself, I can't be bothered going for a jog tonight, or I can't be bothered going for a run. Oh, not for a walk. And then, Joel will come up to me and go, we're going for a run tonight? Yeah, all right, we're going for a run. And it's the same with you. All it takes is for me to say to you, have you gone for a run today? And that might just be that little trigger going, that accountability in you turns around and you go for that run and you have a cracker and you think, oh, great, I'm glad I'm running again. So it's important to surround yourself in a good environment like that, I think.
So message your friends, have you gone for that run? Because you might get them out the door.
Yeah, you just need that one friend.
Plant that seed.
Yeah, just say, hey, in the morning at 5 o'clock, flick me a message, say that you're running, and I guarantee you'll be like, I don't want to, but then you'll get up and you'll do it.
No, I know.
All right, what do we got next? I think
my little question. What are your top 2 tips for making endurance / zone 2 runs easier? Yeah.
I probably only really have one tip for something like this.
All right, go on.
All right, so to make your long runs easier, run your hard runs harder.
I think that's great.
That's probably the only way that you can make your easy runs easier, because if you absolutely send it on the run that might be the tempo or the interval or the strides, you'll have a gauge and a benchmark of what hard feels like, and it feels goddamn hard. So the flip side of that is that tomorrow when you go for your easy run, it's going to feel so much easier. And obviously look at your watch as well. So to make sure you're in the zone. I mean, your watches aren't super accurate, but they're reasonably accurate. So that's probably and that's the only tip I have. I don't have 2. I've only got just that tip.
Yeah, there's nothing much more. Like your perception of pace and pain is, if you can build that up, then your easy runs will be so much easier. But in terms of maybe actually being able to pull off a longer run, I would just say progressively building up to it. And good sessions like this are the sessions like progressives or pyramids, where you work your way up slowly to a faster pace over time. Like each kilometer, you work yourself up 10 seconds faster a kilometer. That really will help you improve your speed over time, speed over longer distances, because as you're increasing the distance, you're increasing the pace. So obviously you think it's going to be easier at the end because you're going faster, it's going to be shorter, but really it's not, because you've got the Ks and the legs already. So that kind of stuff really helps.
Yeah, I think that it also makes you you almost hold on for that little bit longer.
Yeah.
So
it's a gritty thing.
Yeah. So and you build grit as well. So you use those long zone 2 runs as a reward for your hard efforts.
Yeah. Yeah. And strides as well. Keep doing your strides, people.
100%.
If you haven't heard them, look them up. They're amazing.
Yes, 100%. Or you can check out our episode where we spoke about strides
Oh
and
God,
things
we
like
did that ages ago.
We did. I
Oh,
can't even remember
I
the
can't
name
remember
of
the
it.
name either. Oh,
Oh,
we're gonna
what was
know.
it called?
Well, don't quote us on this. Don't.
Yeah, I can't remember
leave
what
it. Leave it.
episode
We
that
don't want
was.
to send someone to the wrong episode.
Yeah. So, what shoes are you currently both running in? We've had similar questions in the past, and obviously this always changes.
I'm actually interested to see what you're running in because
So-
this is challenge. You've had a couple of
Yeah. So I've had to. So in the Hardcore Harry's Challenge, when you're running ultra marathon every day, you're wearing your shoes out pretty quickly. But I actually went back to my Rebel. What are they? New Balance Rebel V4s, and they are fantastic. I really, really enjoyed them. I found that they were terrible. Anything after 30 Ks, they were terrible. This is a while back.
You didn't like them in the backyard, didn't you?
I didn't like them at a backyard ultra, maybe because I was running too slow, I'm thinking. But for this challenge, they've been absolutely magical, and they've been like my go-to shoe. But I also went back to my Topo Ultra Venture 3, which you can't get anymore either.
Oh, they sold out.
Oh, no, you just can't get them anymore because they're the old model. So those ones that I bought and
Let's
you
hope
were
that gets
using,
sponsored by Topper and then brings them back.
yeah, they are magic. So I do have some old pairs of them that I might have to get them out. But they're the two shoes that I'm wearing at the moment. But the Rebel V4s, they're on sale at the moment. I picked up 3 pairs.
How much?
$100 a pair. $100 a pair. I was absolutely stoked. that I
3
got it.
shoes for $300, man.
Yeah.
So that's one pair of shoe nowadays for an elite.
Oh, I
elite shoe.
know. So the V5s have come out.
Yeah.
I haven't tried them. I actually bought them for your sister. She seems to like them because she did like the V4s as well,
yeah.
the black ones. So, but yeah, they're the shoes that I'm rocking, and I think that they're pretty good. I'm not a big fan of cushion shoes because we used the New Balance Moors for a little while there, and I think that they were the issue. They were the shoe that caused the issue with my plantar to begin with. That's a
funny.
tongue twister.
That was the shoe that caused an issue.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tongue twister. But that was the shoe that caused the issue initially in my foot. So I tried to stay away from them. But when you're doing a challenge or a race or something like that, I think they're okay. In training, not so good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm
What's
quite the opposite to you. I don't like the Rebel V4s. I have had them. Dad did purchase them for me, and I just feel like I mushed too much into them.
Yeah.
And I like a responsive shoe. Right now, I am running in the Adidas Speed Agravic Ultra 1. The 2s are out. I'm excited to try them and a lot of other shoes, but right now it's them and Mark 6s. I've said this before. Those are the 2 shoes that I've been
Hoka
wearing.
Mark
Like
6s.
Hoka Mark 6s. Those 2 shoes are great at the moment. Those are probably for trail, Adidas Speed Agravic Ultra, for the more flatter, more non-road, lighter trail stuff. They're great. The Mark 6s Hoka Mark 6s are amazing because flowy runs, easy runs, you can push tempo in them. You can even push intervals in them. I get pretty quick in my strides in them. They're a great all-round shoe. But yeah, I haven't purchased a pair of shoes in a little bit, and I have a lot of shoes I'm looking forward to trying.
You got a lot of shoes in that
We-
closet of yours, so
I know,
maybe start
But
using them.
they're old shoes, and they're
they're old.
outdated. But Dad and I
Oh.
were looking at the Rocket X3 from Hoka.
Yeah,
That's a good
we only
shoe.
buy shoes. Our recommendation for shoes is buy them when they're on sale
Because they're expensive now.
because they're super expensive.
Cool. Well, we hope that answered your question. But yeah, those are 2 shoes for me and
Yep.
2 shoes for you, basically.
100%. Yep.
Am I on the
Alright,
next
yeah,
one?
you got
Am
the
I on
next
it?
one.
God, I didn't-
I'm really looking forward to your answer to this.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll say it then.
No.
If you could only run to one album forever, what would it be?
Well, I don't know albums.
That's what I was wondering. You don't know what an album is?
No, I know what an album is, but I couldn't tell you the name of one.
Oh,
I could tell you my artists I would listen to forever, but I couldn't tell
So
you.
you don't have
the
an
name.
album?
No.
You can tell that this person's obviously born around the same time as me.
Yeah.
Oh man, like
I'm not into the music album drops. Like whenever someone, I think about this is funny. So there'll be people who come into me. It's like, oh, did you see the album of this person and this person? I'm like, I like the music I listen to. It's good. It's in my comfort zone. When there's a new album drop of the artist that I might like, it's completely new songs. I'm like, how could you like that? How could you? Like, it's not it for me. Like,
Well, the song that you just listened to and said that it was really good, that obviously came off an album that had just been released.
I know, but I find myself in this comfort zone of I like this music, I like this artist, and if they come out with a new album, I couldn't tell you if they came out with a new album or not because I don't even listen to that music.
That's the problem with Spotify.
I know.
But for me, if I had to only run to one album, it would be the Black Metallica album. Which
no idea.
Which back in the 90s is when it came out.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, it came out and it was pretty cool. That or the Nirvana Unplugged in New York album. Those two albums. If I had to, obviously I had to choose to one, but I mean one of those two would be to listen to those two forever if I had to listen to them. But I do also like my techno-y trance stuff to kind of send.
And what album is that then, huh? Got no idea there.
No, I don't.
I don't. You don't have any idea there.
Oh, yeah, true. You're right, because the artist, yeah, okay, you got me there.
Right. But yeah, I don't have any albums, but I really like the Lumineers as artists.
Yeah.
I would listen to them forever.
That's funny. Bloody got me there. All right.
All right. Dad, you got the next. Oh, I got this next one, actually.
Yep.
When should I use poles, techniques, brands to buy?
Right. So poles, I mean, they're obviously a real individual thing. So I would be using poles on really steep events because they do help.
Possibly technical trailers too.
Technical trails, I mean, you know what? The problem with technical trails, if you're going downhill, you don't want poles.
No.
Because it gets stuck in a rock and, you know, for people
you almost want to get in that flow state, don't you?
That's right. So people that are a little bit less experienced, I would highly recommend just practice with the poles because they do get snagged. I have gone over because it's been attached to my hand and I've stuck it in a spot that I thought it was going to be okay. It got jammed and I couldn't get it out and I've gone over. It's like you're having your feet clipped into the pedals of a bike and then you're there and you're like, oh, I can't unclip it. And then over you go. So that sucks. So practice with the poles, but really steep hills, obviously something like Down Under, 100%, man. They're perfect. The poles are perfect for events like that. Buffalo Stampede, 100% recommend poles. I remember the first year that Buffalo Stampede was on, it used to be a 75K. I did it, and I don't know what it was. Must have just all been novices, but we were finishing that event off, and there was this, I think it's mixed track that we were going up, and it was just hell. It was so steep, and I got to the top, and there was this giant pile of sticks, and I threw my 2 sticks on top because that's all we could use. We were just finding sticks to get up these hills. So
that could be a brand.
Yeah.
Nature brand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sticks up a hill. But yeah, so we ended up using poles for events like that. But I've seen people use poles for things like the Hardcore 100 at the Uis, where you've only really got a couple hills. They do help. It depends on how fast you're going as well, how much training you've done, how much you've built your legs up. So that's important to know. In terms of brands, Black Diamond are probably a slightly cheaper brand that you can use. They've got these kind of wrist hold things, but the Lecky poles that I have that have almost like a glove thing and it attaches to the inside between your thumb and your pointer finger, they are magic. They are the bomb when it comes to poles. It's so much easier. And I didn't realize how good they were because I thought I just had the normal Black Diamond ones, but then I got the Lecky ones and they were expensive, but I can see why people rave about them.
Yeah. It's almost worth, do you think, actually just buying the good ones first?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think that too, because we did buy Lecky poles that were slightly cheaper and they're just not as good. Another thing to be careful for is don't break them on your first run.
Yeah.
How devastating would that be? Buying what, $600, $700 worth of?
Oh, I didn't pay $600-700 for poles, the Lecky ones, because you can get the carbon ones. I didn't get the carbon
but
ones.
there are other ones that I like.
Yeah, but you know what? At Down Under, I reckon there were 2 or 3 stories a couple of years back where people brand new poles snapped one pole in that race. So it's an expensive pole to snap.
Yeah. Yeah, and what else do we have? Was there another question there?
Yeah, we got
we had techniques.
Oh, techniques. Techniques.
You got the two pole
You've got
there,
the two hands. You got the yeah. I mean, I don't know in terms of techniques. I I kind of just, you know what? It's almost however you kind of, as long as you got the right
Get into a
height
rhythm,
ones,
I think.
yeah, it's the rhythm that you kind of get into. I wouldn't say that there's a real technique.
I feel like maybe when you're getting up a really hard bit, using your
I don't know,
two
whatever's
I don't know.
comfortable.
Yeah, whatever's comfortable,
By
let's
the
be real.
time you're using them in that way,
Yeah.
like you mean you're gassed. So, like I said, I think that they're about a 5% improvement in how you get up a hill and things like that.
Yeah.
Personally, it just takes a little bit of stress off the legs.
Yeah, and it's all very personal. Some people just don't like poles.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So when chasing 5K PBs, is it common for your throat to get all clogged up and mucusy?
100%.
Is it?
Yeah. I think it's normal.
What do you
If
reckon?
you're pushing hard enough.
Well, yeah, that's what I reckon. That person is sending it.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good sign that you're absolutely
But
sending it.
if you're not sending it,
Oh,
maybe you just
I
had a
don't
little
know.
cold.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't maybe I don't send it hard enough. Maybe I did when I first started.
But when I send it, I do. I get like, but I have to.
Okay, all congested and
Yeah,
stuff.
like spit it out. As much as I don't want to do it, I got to do it sometimes. It's not rocket if you have to. Like,
Yeah. All right. Well, it's not. I don't think it has to be necessarily when you're doing a 5K PB. I think you can anytime you're pushing it hard
Yeah.
at the end.
yeah, yeah. So it's normal. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't ever think that no one else is doing it, because if you're actually pushing hard and you're getting like, I have respect for you if you're
Yes.
pushing that hard. Like,
Yeah.
don't- yeah,
So do I.
yeah.
I hate pushing that hard. I would much rather run. I would much rather run 100 Ks than have to run a
Well, you don't
5K
like that,
PB.
that heart in your throat feeling, do you?
Oh,
I
nah.
hate it. I hate it.
Sometimes
I
you
love
get
it. I
that-
love it at the same time.
No, sometimes you get that metallic taste in your mouth.
Metallic
That's-
taste.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I do. I reckon I do sometimes.
Next one. If someone was to train for a backyard ultra, what would you recommend the main focus be?
Consistency and just kilometers in the legs. I don't think that you need to. We're talking about a person that might be someone new to the sport that may, because if you've got endurance, if you're a runner that's been running for 20 years, I probably the main focus would be to work out what you need to do nutrition wise, sleep, and all those kinds of things. But if you're looking to run 24 hours, I would focus on like a really good aerobic base, just lots and lots of kilometers in the legs without overdoing it and getting an overuse injury. But I think that that's super important. And doing those kilometers at a endurance pace, because you're not going to be lighting up the course at 4-minute pace. So as much as that kind of training is still good for you and it's going to help you because it's going to help you have a lower heart rate and all those kinds of things and improve a lot of efficiencies.
When you're running slower. Again, it
Yeah.
comes back to that pace, gears and everything like that. If you're able to run faster, your slower gears are going to feel super easy and slow.
Yeah, because essentially that's what you want. You want to be running and it to be feeling easy. When I first started running, my coach Brendan Davies often said to me that whatever pace you're doing, if it feels easy when you're running, say, a miler or whatever, run it even easier. Like take 30 seconds a kilometer off. So I'd be running and I'd be running at, say, 5-minute pace, and he'd say, well, now you're going to have to run at 5:30 because you want it to be as easy as possible for as long as possible.
Now, do you think that's just for the beginners who just want to get through and just get actually like finish the race?
Yeah.
I think that's quite let's just finish the race. If someone's looking for the actual push.
Yep. That's a good way of asking a question and answering it yourself.
I know, I got a little
So
bit
what was your
excited
question? No, I definitely think just K's in the legs.
Yeah.
I think K's in the legs would be my recommendation for because that's what does people in. A lot of people that are first timers, they just can't. The conditioning's just not in the legs. You can have strength and all that kind of stuff, but it's just time in the legs, time on feet. That matters. Like we've seen Matt Russell at MVP, first time he'd ever done a backyard ultra, pumped out 24 hours. Why? Because he's got so much conditioning in his legs. Like if you imagine if his nutrition was on point, I'm not saying that it wasn't, but if that was like if his backyard nutrition was on point and his backyard pacing and his backyard sleeping was all on point, he probably would have got further. But it's amazing how far he got with just really good conditioning in the legs.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach here. And it's something super simple, not very physiological, where what Dad was explaining with ramping up Ks a little bit. But getting into a state of mind before bed and having almost like a ritual and really, really...
what?
A ritual?
Ritual.
Yeah.
I'm just
Did I say it
questioning
right?
your pronunciation.
Yeah.
Ritual.
Don't ritual.
There you go. That's better.
Ritual
Yeah.
before bed, because getting yourself in that mindset right before a backyard ultra, because obviously if you want to go far in a backyard ultra, if you are wanting to maybe push, what would you say, above 24, above 30, if you really want to start implementing sleep? I know this person might be a beginner.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Honestly, first couple laps, sleep if you need. We know my sister started sleeping like literally within 3 laps.
Yeah.
And she ended up doing 8. So it's great. Sleep is a game changer for backyard ultras. But what helps and promotes this sleep in a backyard ultra is before the few months prior to the event, practicing that gratification if that works for you. But like I said before, that ritual. Am I saying it right? Still? No. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Getting yourself in that moment where you're practicing something that you can bring yourself back to at the end of every lap, so that sets you up for sleep.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we covered that pretty well.
We covered a couple of really good things there.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, this one's a little bit different because this is a little bit more personal, but we'll cover it. I'll try and answer as best I can.
Yeah, have we answered this before?
No. We've had something similar, but so what advice would you give to a new father? Watching your relationship with your children is inspiring. Would love to hear what you've learned along the way.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm assuming that's towards me, but if I'm wrong at any point, please pull me up. I don't think that I'm in any position to give any parenting advice to anyone because I think that we all kind of do it differently. I think that from my experience, the dad that I am the way I am because of the way I was brought up.
But you built yourself into who you are at the moment as well.
Yeah. So it's easy. It's very easy to say built yourself to who you are. In terms of
further explain it.
In terms of what, like in terms of as a runner or that. Yeah, yes, 100%. But in terms of trying to be a parent and a friend and business partner with our podcast, if you want to call it that. I think there's different levels to it. I think that you need to be a different parent at different stages. So you need to be, when your kid's obviously, a firstborn, and you're a different parent, and then when they're young kids going to school, you're a different parent, and you're always trying to balance it, and you're never going to get it right. You're going to make mistakes, and you have to forgive yourself for making those mistakes. But you also need to be able to apologize to your kids too if you stuff up. So I think that like everyone's on their own journey and their own path. I think listening to your kids is probably the single most important thing that you can do, because you just have to imagine yourself when you were their age and what they thought. The one thing that really, there's 2 things that rocked me as a parent and made me want to change. One was I was at a backyard ultra and there was footage. My mum had taken some footage of you going to hand me some Coke or something like that.
I do remember this.
Yeah, and I was walking, and obviously, you're stressed and you're doing whatever, and I'm kind of walking. You've come up to me, oh no, I'm like, nah, I don't need that or whatever. And I seen the look on your face when I did that, and in the moment, obviously, I didn't see it, but you turned away and you were just kind of like it looked like you were super upset. And it was like, it almost felt, it rocked me because it kind of took me back to my childhood when if I wasn't good enough or I hadn't done something. So I think that for me, that the biggest lesson from that was to be aware of, because the words that come out of my mouth affect you and how you feel as a person. in the moment, I might have
But
just
yeah,
been,
regardless of the situation.
yeah, regardless of that situation. And I mean, since then, I've probably done it another few
I know
times.
we had that moment at King of the Hill where,
Yeah, I know.
and I've learnt to just take that because I understand it.
Yeah,
And
I had a moment there too,
Yeah.
and I mean, like I said, it's a learning, and you're always learning, and you're always trying to be a better parent. But those kinds of moments, you've really got to be able to look at yourself and go, hang on, I don't want that for my child. And then I think another moment as a parent that kind of really rocked me was we were looking through a hard drive of footage that we had of all of our family stuff, and there was a deep folder buried somewhere called Misha's iPad, and I clicked on it, and it was my daughter, and it was like 10 years ago, and she was there doing cooking lessons by herself because with the
reenact
GoPro.
it. Let's reenact it.
No,
Go on, reenact. Come
I'm
on,
not
reenact it for the
gonna.
people.
No, I'm not gonna
Come
reenact
on,
it. I'm
do
not
it.
gonna. So
Do
there
it.
was a camera there, right, and it was facing her, and she was giving cooking lessons on how to make
maybe
ice
I'll
cream.
reenact it.
No, do you really want to
Yeah.
reenact it? If your mates are watching at school, and you're gonna.
I don't even care.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No, we'll leave it. We'll just leave it.
Alright.
We'll leave it. Right. So there's this footage of Misha doing cooking lessons, making ice cream, and she's teaching us how to think. And in the background, I'm walking around. My wife Rachel's walking around. We're doing life like that moment's going to last forever. And I think that really shook me because I thought, oh my God, in that moment, I wish I had have been on the other side of that camera just watching her do that in real time. But because you think that moment's going to last forever, you don't give it the time and the attention that you should, because you'll never, ever, ever get that moment back. So I think they're probably the two biggest things that rocked me as a parent, and I took a lot of lessons from that. Now, I'm not giving any parenting advice. They're just the moments that kind of rocked me, and I wish I didn't have to live those moments, and I wish other parents didn't have to either, because, those moments that you get to have with your kids, like these moments, me and you being able to do this podcast together, me and your sister, going for a run on the morning of her birthday and talking, or me watching her horse riding and stuff like that, those moments have become so much more special because I actually felt what it feels like to not have those moments, or to take those moments for granted. I think that
Yeah, we take a lot of things for granted.
Yeah, you can. But yeah, that's completely not non-running related, but
That's
I think
fine,
it takes
though. That's fine.
Yeah, but I think it takes a lot. I think there's a lot to be learned as a parent. There was a lot to be learned as a parent for me from those experiences.
Yeah,
that I had.
because it says here, watching your relationship with your children is inspiring.
Yeah.
Like now, yeah, obviously, because you've learned from those things.
Yeah.
Because dad obviously wasn't always like that. Like you
No.
said, with watching Misha's video, and
Yeah.
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like dad really didn't emphasize that, and I'm not going to reenact it, but it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, she was putting on this voice and acting like as if she was on a TV show.
Oh, I want to do it. I want to do it.
No, it's all right.
Ah,
We might post it up with her
Yeah, okay,
permission. We don't
okay.
want to do it
Well,
without
yeah,
her permission.
yeah, fair enough.
So, okay, we'll move on. I think that was a little bit of.
that got deep there.
Yeah, that got a little bit deep.
That's okay.
So, this one might get deep too.
Oh, okay.
What motivates you to keep going during your challenges and your races? How about you take that one?
Yeah. There was one moment on a huge run I did a couple years back, and it was like an insane 50K adventure I did, and I asked one of my friends to come along with me on his bike, and he said sure. So I picked him up and we're running, and he's like, "So why do you actually want to do this?" And I had to think about it for a moment. It was it was fairly silent for at least a kilometer, and I got back to him about it, and I went, it's just the thought that I could be world champion and the greatest of all time, just nothing beats it. Nothing beats that feeling. It's like me, like this body, this person, this individual who lives in this place right now is going to be world champion. And I just think, wow.
Just having that opportunity, hey? That's
Yeah,
pretty
the
cool.
opportunity to actually, and I'm very grateful for it, to be able to actually, and I say it to a lot of people, it's like, when someone asks, you're really good at running, I'm like, yeah, I'm just really grateful that I found something that I love so young, because I have such a huge advantage on a lot of people. And I'm being quite blunt with this. I do. I'm quite young. I started quite young. I have 15 years of experience from you. I've got the support around me. There's nothing saying that I can't do it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that there's a lot to take from that as well, because you finding what you do, what you enjoy doing, and your passion when you're young, it's very important. Because I look at you, and how many ways have you pivoted from that? We had no idea how to run a podcast. We had no idea how
and
to.
people were telling us that we're
do,
doing amazing.
Yeah, and we had no idea how to create content. We had no idea how we used webcams to begin with, because we had no idea. I looked it up, I Googled it, I investigated it. We tried to do some lighting stuff, but you know, reaching out to people, asking questions, investigating it ourselves. Like there's so
lot of
much
YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, and I mean, but I think the biggest thing that I see with you with running is that it's allowed you to use that template for other things, and being a world champion at running, you know, it's allowing you to, or yeah, well, you're the world record holder under 18 backyard ultra.
No, I really.
But that is also driving you to be better at other things too, isn't it? Because what you've seen is like, hang on, I've got this potential to be really good at this thing. How about if I go over here? Maybe I'm going to be really good at this thing too, and then I'll try this thing as well. So it alleviates the fear that you might have of trying new things.
Like I look at Hans Troyer, who just won Canyons 100K and set a course record, and I just think, wow, I wish I was him right now. And I said to Dad straight away when I asked, "Have you seen him?" I'm like, God, I can't wait to race him.
Yeah.
Even I look at Sam Ruth, who is like, I think I heard something like he was 11th all-time mile, and he's 16 years old.
Yeah.
He's younger than me, and he's 11th all-time in the mile.
Yeah.
And I just think, wow, what a cool experience that would be.
Yeah. And I suppose that drive and that's what motivates you.
And obviously, I think it might change as I'm getting older. Like I think kids, especially, that might be a really big driving factor. You guys, my parents. As I get older, I think now though is that I'm super hungry for success.
Yeah. It's funny because I've kind of got a different take on what motivates me. I really like this question because for me, it's the curiosity of what I can find in this human body. Like, how far can I push it? How far can I go? Can I at the age of 43 be a world champion? Can I find a sport that I'm really, really good at? I love running. I love running really long distances. I love burying myself. Can I find more? And I'm just curious to find out how it works. How do all these pieces fit in together to allow me to become as good as I can be? And often I think we fall short of what we're capable of and our limits. And I think doing these really extreme challenges that I'm doing this year, it's allowing me to find new levels that I didn't realize I could unlock. And that's the fun part. So I'm super curious, and that's what motivates me because it's hard. It's goddamn hard. I'm out there and it's baking sun for 2 or 3 hours of this run. And I think, am I going to make it through? So it's amazing what you can achieve with that, motivation and drive. And I'm super curious to see where it takes me.
That wraps up our fly on the wall questions. Thank you for sending them in. Actually, no, I don't want to thank anyone for sending them in.
Thank you for sending them in. I can't wait for Ollie to do 500 burpees.
Yeah. What do we?
Obviously, that wasn't 50 questions.
No.
But we do have a couple of quick fire ones, and there were some that people just wrote in, I just want to see Ollie do burpees. So I added some and then deleted some others.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I have a really interesting concept to sparken this up a little bit here. We are going to do a stopwatch, and we're going to do a little bit of a competition.
Oh, okay.
To see
which Caprazak talks least.
Yeah. Okay,
no way.
If you want to do it like that, then we could do it.
I'm just going to say yes, no, yes, no.
Maybe no. You have to elaborate on the actual question.
Okay, so you got to do a fair version of it. Okay.
So maybe we'll ask each other the questions that are related to each other.
No. How about we just run the whole thing through? So we'll go quick fire 10, right? So that's I've already got yours, and then the other one, mine and yours. So I've already prepared it,
Crap,
mate.
I didn't even
If you
realize.
read the notes,
Oh yeah, sure.
this is
Dude,
why I know how Alex feels with Troy.
He's throwing me under the bus here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do you first, and I'll ask you the questions.
Okay, no worries. And I have to give a good amount of context and answer.
Fair enough. And I am including the time on the actual asking of the question.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm quick with the questions.
Yep.
All right. How far do you think the Hardcore Harry's challenge will go?
72.
How many burpees do you think Ollie can do?
200 before he starts complaining.
Do you feel any expectations on your shoulders being well known in the Hardcore Harry's last one standing? Stop doing one answer.
I don't think I feel any expectations because I'm old and I don't really care about what other people think.
What's the grocery bill come to each week feeding all the runners?
A lot. There's so much baby food and so many snack packs being bought and maple syrup at the moment. Not to mention how much tailwind I eat.
What's the first part in figuring out crew duties over 24-hour events, 2 people, 2 roles, or 2 people combined jobs?
I think when you've got crew, you just need one good person at a time, and make sure that they rotate and get enough sleep.
Besides the Yu Yangs, what's your favourite trail run you've done in Victoria?
Buffalo Stampede out at Bright. It was amazing. It would always set my year up for an epic year of racing.
Favourite pre-race meal?
I've been having snack packs.
Maybe what's the dinner?
What do you mean?
Like the dinner, the pre-race of a meal.
Oh,
Race.
okay.
We're doing for a race.
Oh,
yeah.
this is going to extend the time a little
you
bit.
answer the question wrong.
Look, I like a pasta or a burger or something like that.
Favourite post-run meal?
The Rockaby drinks have been all right. I don't mind them.
Yeah. Any ambition to do one of the big 200 miles in the US?
100%. I'd love to do them after I do Barkley marathons.
Do you think DU 135 will return?
100%. DU 135 will return when we get enough pressure on the boys to bring it back.
When I turn 18.
Yep. How long was that?
Can you guess? Let's do it.
1 minute and 32 seconds. What?
A minute 50.
Minute 50.
A minute 50, 62.
Oh, I thought I did all right.
That wasn't too bad. How many? Do we have the same amount of questions? I think we did.
Yes, I made sure that there was the same questions.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm
All right,
nervous.
I'll try and read
Okay.
these as quick as I can. So that. Okay. All right. How many burpees could you do during the next podcast?
100 with this space.
Well, you'd have to move everything.
Okay. If we move everything, then 400.
There's no way you
Go,
can do-
ask the next question.
Best shorts to avoid chafing.
T8 shorts.
Jeez, you're boring.
What?
How many times have you heard people say, I don't even like driving a car that far? I don't like driving that far.
Yeah. A lot of times. I think maybe at least 30 plus.
Oh, okay. In your lifetime, do you keep count of, yeah?
Yeah.
How good is the 500? How good is the 500 burpee payback gonna feel?
I was going to feel amazing when I get my revenge on Dad for what I have planned.
Okay, I'm not looking forward to that. What's the most amount of burpees you've done in a single go before?
In a single go without breaks, probably 110.
Favorite pre-race meal?
A cheeseburger. Yep, nice one.
Favorite post-run meal? Macca's?
No, God, no, Macca's. Not Shepherd and Macca's. Not Shepherd and Macca's. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, pancakes.
Okay.
Pancakes.
Favorite 2 books?
The Inner Game of Tennis and Breath.
Oh, geez, Steve Magnus didn't get it.
No, I like that book, but I haven't read it.
Oh, okay.
I've listened to it.
Oh, okay. Do you ever get sick of sugary drinks at long events?
Yes, of course. You gotta change some things up sometimes.
How do you change them up?
Bit of water, maybe a different kind of flavor.
Best time to run, morning or night?
Morning. Oh, always morning. Oh, he just added a little bit there.
1 minute, 51 seconds,
Nah,
0.26.
that's not-
What was mine?
No, that's not happening. You added an extra second or two.
No.
Yes, you liar. You look down.
Oh, well.
We're going to run that back.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going to run it back. We're going to do
We'll see.
an
We'll see.
official
Well,
review.
how long do I get?
I'm in at 50.62. You did not beat me. We are running
I
that
beat
back.
you by half a second.
No, you
That
didn't.
was close.
No, you didn't. We're
That
running
was
it back.
really close.
We're
All
running it
right, let's
back.
move on to the next segment after that victory from me. Hey, you're a faster runner, but you're not a faster answerer.
I'm not taking that.
All right. So we obviously don't have a listener segment on this episode, but what we do have is an announcement to make that our listener segment, Ollie was going to put out the word and we were going to name it and see our audience name it, but instead we decided to call it Fly on the Wall listener questions.
Yeah. What's our motive behind that?
Well, I think...
You've all been doing it right now.
Yeah, so you guys are like the flies on the wall and listen to us every single week. So homage to that, we thought we would name the episode that segment Fly on the Wall, and we're going to give away one of these epic hats to the best question that we've had on the podcast today. And what we're going to do is Ollie's going to create a really cool reel, and we're going to announce that during the week. So keep an eye out on that.
Fly on the wall. I like that.
I like the fly on the wall
like it.
listener questions.
Yeah, because everyone wants to be a fly on the wall sometimes.
Yeah,
just
that's
listen to
right.
them.
Just listening into what's going on. So, and they're the kind of conversations that we normally have anyway. Okay, so let's get into our don't quote me on that.
You go first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a theory. I don't know. Don't quote me on this theory. Don't quote me on this theory, but I think that there is only one way to win at a last one standing event. And I was on my run and I remembered back to a movie that I watched when I was a kid called Gattaca. And the main character in this film was born naturally. But in this dystopian world, you had people that were engineered to be perfect. And there was this toing and throwing throughout this movie. And the main character, Vincent, was living with a guy who was paralyzed and he was engineered perfect. And he was kind of mimicking him and was taking on his role. So he would go into work and acting like as if he was this Jerome person. Anyway, so the premise of the movie is that like the engineered people were better than the non-engineered people. And there's this scene in this movie right at the end where Jerome and Vincent, they're swimming out to sea and they're just going as far as they can. And Vincent knows that he can't beat Jerome, and Jerome knows that Vincent can't beat him because he's engineered. He's engineered to be perfect. And they're swimming out, and there's this one bit where Jerome yells out to Vincent and goes to him, you got to stop. Well, you'll kill us both. How are you doing this? And Vincent turns around and goes, I haven't saved anything for the way back. And then in that moment, Jerome's confused and starts drowning. And then Vincent swims back and saves Jerome. So in terms of a last one standing event, if you're going to win one of these events, you've got to not save anything for the next day. So you've got to absolutely send it. You've got to leave it all out there, because the difference between the guys that win and the guys that don't is that the people that don't, they don't send it all the way. Now, I'm not talking death, essentially, but what I'm saying is that the person that's willing to get as close to their limit as possible is the person that's always going to win. And in this movie, I just couldn't believe it. I remember, because when I went for my run, I'm like, this sounds like really familiar. Like I've had this idea somewhere, and I remembered that Gattaca movie, and I'm like, that's exactly what happened. Jerome was calling him back, come back, I can't, you can't go out that far. And he's like, no, I'm not saving anything for the way back. And that was the only way that Vincent could beat Jerome in that scene. And I think that that's the same for a last one standing. That's the only way you can beat someone is by being willing. The only way you can beat someone is to be willing to leave it all out there more so than what they are.
Yeah, that's a
long-winded way to explain my theory, but I think that that's what it costs. I think that.
Do you think that that's that separation? That separation between field goal and assist?
I think so. I think that the person that wants it more.
Well, really,
I-
essentially, the person does want it more
More.
because the second place person is pulling out.
Yeah. They just, and it may be for
Yeah.
various reasons. It doesn't necessarily have to be because they're weaker or their mind's not as strong or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, there's one person that is willing to go further. And now that further doesn't necessarily mean on that day. That further might mean eating healthier, training harder, sacrificing time with family. It's those people that succeed. I know for a fact that Phil runs a heap of kilometers. I know that he, does the things that others aren't willing to do. And if you want to beat him, you got to be willing to do as much as him, if not more.
But that's very hard as well because he even says that it's not a sacrifice. It's just he loves it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's so cool. Like, oh, maybe I should have this as my quote. Yeah, I'm going to lead into this. It's like, I'm actually going to make it up on the spot by myself. Oh, God, don't.
No pressure.
That's literally, don't quote me on this. But this is leading on dad's little theory, but to outshine everyone else, you have to find something that you're willing to do for fun that everyone else looks at as a negative or a chore or something really, really bad to do. And if you're looking at it from a perspective of this is fun, I enjoy absolutely digging myself into the ground, then no one in the world is going to beat you.
100%.
If you find something that's hard and it's fun for you personally, and everyone else, it's like, oh, that sucks. Who would do that? Pfft, run. You've already won.
Yeah. But the problem is that there's another million or billion people that enjoy running. So then you just got to go narrow it down, keep narrowing it down.
And that's where we go into dad's theory a little bit. There.
Yeah, because you're right though. That's a perfect quote for leading off what I said. Because at the end of the day, you need to find a way or a trick to want that thing more than the other person. And if that means that you learn to enjoy that, well, then that's exactly what you're going to have to do, because you'll be running and you'll be smiling because I love this. I love this pain. I love doing this and really feel it. So you can't just tell yourself, you really need to feel it.
And it's like David Goggins' thing. It's like when you have people looking at you going, questioning or hating on you for, why is he smiling? Why? If they're confused why you're like having a blast 5 a.m. in the morning running and you get to school and they ask, what did you do? I ran 30 Ks this morning. If I get to work, oh, what did you do this morning? Oh, I ran a marathon this morning. And they're going, what the hell?
Yeah.
Then you know what, you're in the right place.
Yeah, because you're crushing it and it feels good.
Mm.
It feels good. I like them. I think that those theories and that quote were bang on. So that was a pretty good quote. Don't quote me on that.
No,
My
we
theory.
collaborated on that.
Yeah, we did collaborate a little bit there. So let's get into our Better by Next Week challenges. So that's right. Mine's already done. You're doing 500 burpees. And if any of our...
That's not a challenge, is
That's
it?
the Better by Next Week challenge.
Okay. I didn't read the notes.
You didn't. That's right. You didn't read the notes. So if our audience would like to do 500 burpees this week, you know what? Send us in your messages. Let us know how you go.
Send us a time lapse.
Yeah, time lapse video. That'd be epic, and we'll post it up. Anyone that does a time lapse video,
Post them up on the story.
yeah, we'll post them up on your story. Just tag us in it, and yeah, we'd love to share that because that's absolutely nuts. 500.
Hopefully we get some.
Oh, I don't know. I don't reckon we will. But anyway,
We'll get
you
two.
and we'll get two. You and Ryan.
And maybe you.
I'm not doing 500 burpees. That wasn't my challenge. I look forward to your payback.
No, but I have a little bit of a simpler challenge this week. So mine is around breaking up that sedentary behavior, which is any waking hour of the day that you're spending sitting down instead of doing something physical. So this is a leading cause to a lot of issues, chronic issues in many people's lives, sedentary behavior, too much of it, because you think about it, right? We are sitting down for the majority of the day. We are not moving for the majority of the day. We're either working in an office desk. That's why they have stand-up desks sometimes to break up that sedentary behavior. But My Better by Next Week challenge for you this week is all around breaking up that sedentary behavior. And it's very simple. It's not like your 500 burpees you've given me, but it's just doing 10 air squats every hour.
Yeah.
Setting that reminder every hour for 8 hours of the day that you're up, roughly, give or take, and doing that and being accountable and constantly.
So that's 80 air squats.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, basically 80 air squats an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, an hour a day.
Yeah. I like that challenge.
Because,
do you reckon we could break it up a little bit where, like, because, you know, sometimes it can be hard to remember to set your alarm every.
No, but you can just have a repeating alarm.
Oh, okay.
So you can just have a repeating hour alarm or whatever.
At a minimum, do it morning and night.
That's a tricky thing though, because
You want it to do
the whole idea around sedentary behavior. Dad's been running ultra marathons a day. He'll do that in the morning. That doesn't account for later on in the afternoon. It has to be a consistent physical activity throughout the day, because if you run for 50 Ks in a day and then you go and sit down for the rest of the day, that's still bad for you.
Is it? I call it rest.
Yeah.
I call it rest.
I know. There are completely different circumstances people might
100%.
find themselves in. But for those people who do find themselves and are quite conscious about that they're actually just not doing anything and they're just sluggish, just sitting down, it is a very big leading. Actually, look into it. I've been listening to a couple of podcasts about sedentary behavior. It does lead to a lot of chronic issues.
Yeah. I think it's just that basic movement and just doing a little bit of exercise. Yeah.
Because hear this, right? 10 air squats every hour for one of those sessions is the equivalent of a 13-minute fast walk.
Is it? So if you did it 8 times,
yeah,
13 minutes fast walk.
Yeah, I believe I think that's what I heard. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But it's either every time you do it or accumulated over the day. But
yeah,
it's still a lot.
That's a lot.
Like, do you think about it? People who actually want to get out for a walk and can't do it, just do 10 air squats.
Yeah.
An hour.
Yeah.
Like,
Get the whole office doing it.
Yeah.
Get the whole class doing it.
Oh, how funny would that be?
Get your whole class doing it.
No, they are not. People are going to be looking at me and go like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
I
but
might
it's
get one person to do it, but no one else.
The
is
law
doing
of vibration. I sent you that thing where those clocks like tick, 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 and then all of them.
You know kids at school nowadays, no one is getting up and doing air squats halfway.
All it takes is one.
All it takes is
So
one.
I had a friend.
Yeah,
You know what? I had a
one
friend.
guy.
I had a friend when I was a kid, right? Bart, and he had this beret, right? Do you know what a beret is? It's a fancy French hat.
It's a back of my day.
Yeah, it's a fancy
Actually, no,
French
no,
hat, right? So he had a beret and he wore it into town once, and me and my mate Paul were like, "Oh my god, what is he doing wearing that beret?" And you know what his response was? He goes, "You know what? I'll go into town with a beret, and I'll be the only one wearing a beret. But next week I'll go in, and there'll be 2 people wearing a beret, and then the following week I'll go in, and there'll be 3 people wearing a beret." And I'm like, I can't argue with that, I suppose. But yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, because it's almost the more you notice.
Yeah, that's right. So do your air squats at
That's not my challenge though.
Oh,
I'll do my best.
mine.
I'll do it.
Yes.
Because I actually do want to get myself into that.
Yeah, but any of our audience, if they're doing the air squats,
Get your whole office.
get your whole office doing them. So, all right, great. Thank
That's
you
been
heaps for
great.
listening. We hope you really enjoyed the podcast.
5 star.
Leave your 5-star reviews on Spotify. They really do help when we're reaching out to other brands to try and get some free stuff for the podcast and for our listeners. So, yeah, we hope
Great episode.
Yeah,
honestly.
we hope you enjoy your runs and go crushing them out there. And, yeah see you next week.
See you later.
See ya.
Just